Question 1. In which year was the Constitution amended? A. 1965, B. 1867, C. 1982, D. 2008. Correct answer. C. 1982. Question 2. What is the name for the right to challenge unlawful detention by the state? A. Habeas corpus, B. the blindfolded lady, C. innocent until proven guilty, D. Magna Carta. Correct answer. A. habeas corpus. Question 3. When was the Magna Carta signed? A. 1512, B. 1215, C. 1867, D. 1915. Correct answer. B. 1215. Question 4. Canadians have official language rights and minority language educational right. What does that mean? A. Schools should have education programs in English as well as other minority languages. B. English and French have equal status in Parliament. C. All languages have equal status in Parliament. D. Canadians can learn any minority languages as they wish. Correct answer. B. English and French have equal status in Parliament. Question 5. The effort by women to fight for the right to vote is known as the A. Voting Law, B. Suffrage Motion of Women, C. Women's Suffrage Movement, D. Women's Voting Movement. Correct answer. C. Women's Suffrage Movement. Question 6. Where did Queen Elizabeth II proclaim the amended Constitution in 1982? A. Vancouver, B. Toronto, C. Montreal, D. Ottawa. Correct answer. D. Ottawa. Question 7. Give an example of how you can help in your neighborhood. A. Fly a Canadian flag in your garden. B. Wear red and white clothes on Canada Day. C. Volunteer at the local animal sanctuary. D. Keep your car spotlessly clean at all times. Correct answer. C. Volunteer at the local animal sanctuary. Question 8. What are the additional rights summarized in the Canadian Chart of Rights and Freedoms? A. Freedom of conscience, freedom of thought and freedom of association. B. Freedom of speech, freedom of the press and Aboriginal rights. C. Freedom of peaceful assembly, freedom to own property, freedom to live and work anywhere within Canada. D. Mobility rights, official language rights, multiculturalism, and Aboriginal rights. Correct answer. D. Mobility rights, official language rights, multiculturalism, and Aboriginal rights. Question 9. Under the Canadian law, what are the two fundamental freedoms? A. British common law and freedom of speech. B. Aboriginal rights and the Magna Carta. C. Equality rights and freedom of religion. D. Freedom of religion and freedom of speech. Correct answer. D. Freedom of religion and freedom of speech. Question 10. When you take the oath of citizenship, you promise to A. Fulfill the duties of a Canadian, obey the laws, and pledge loyalty to the Queen. B. Obey the Canadian law and pledge to be allegiance to the Queen. C. Obey the Prime Minister and pledge loyalty to the Queen. D. Volunteer in your community and pledge loyalty to the Queen. Correct answer. A. Fulfill the duties of a Canadian, obey the laws, and pledge loyalty to the Queen. Question 11. What is seen as a noble way to contribute to Canada? A. Serving in the Canadian Forces. B. B. Speaking English and French. C. Recycling and caring for the environment. D. Paying taxes. Correct answer. A. Serving in the Canadian Forces. Question 12. An example of helping in the community is A. Volunteer at a library. B. Drive to work and school. C. Wear red and white on Canada Day. D. Work at a community center. Correct answer. A. Volunteer at a library. Question 13. Who has the first priority for a job in the federal government? A. British citizens. B. Canadian citizens. C. United States citizens. D. Landed immigrants. Correct answer. B. Canadian citizens. Question 14. Which of the following is not a citizenship responsibility? A. Serving on a jury. B. Helping others in the community. C. Obeying Canadian laws. D. Flying the Canadian flag. Correct answer. D. Flying the Canadian flag. Question 15. Under the Canadian Charter of Rights and Freedoms, name the 4 additional rights of Canadian citizens. A. The right to live and work anywhere in Canada. Be educated. Apply for a Canadian passport. Enter and leave Canada. B. The right to drive. Be educated in any language. Live and work anywhere in Canada. Apply for a Canadian passport. C. The right to vote. Enter and leave Canada freely. Apply for a Canadian passport. Be educated in either official language. D. The right to vote. Drive anywhere in Canada. Be educated in either official language. Travel between Canada and U.S. Correct answer. C. The right to vote, enter, and leave Canada freely. Apply for a Canadian passport. Be educated in either official language. Question 16. Where was the Magna Carta signed? A. France. B. Canada. C. Scotland. D. England. Correct answer. D. England. Question 17. Canadian law has several original sources. Which of these are part of them? A. Civil Code of France. B. Unwritten Constitution of Great Britain. C. All of them. D. English Common Law. Correct answer. C. All of them. Question 18. The Queen's representative in the territories are known as A. Prime Minister. B. Governor General. C. Sir. D. Commissioner. Correct answer. D. Commissioner. Question 19. What is the Magna Carta also known as? A. The Great Charter of Freedoms. B. Habeas Corpus. C. Canadian Charter of Rights and Freedoms. D. The Great Constitution. Correct answer. A. The Great Charter of Freedoms. Question 20. In Canada, men and women are A. Treated the same, but only in public areas. B. Equal under the law. C. Treated the same in the workplace only. D. Almost the same in the eyes of the law. Correct answer. B. Equal under the law. Question 21. How can you protect the environment? A. Recycle, carpool to work or school, and conserve energy. B. Recycle, drive to work, and conserve energy. C. Recycle, carpool to work or school, and buy bottled water. D. D. Recycle, buy bottled water, and conserve energy. Correct answer. A. Recycle, carpool to work or school, and conserve energy. Question 22. Which legal document underlines the importance of multiculturalism? A. The Canadian Multiculturalism Act. B. The Civil Code of France. C. The Canadian Charter of Rights and Freedoms. D. British Charter of Rights. Correct answer. C. The Canadian Charter of Rights and Freedoms. Question 23. Equality of women and men means: A. Both men and women need to obey the law. B. Men and women are treated equally under the law. C. Men and women are the same. D. Both men and women are human. Correct answer. B. Men and women are treated equally under the law. Question 24. Who can apply for a Canadian passport? A. Green card holders. B. Residents of Canada. C. Citizens of Canada. D. Landed immigrants. Correct answer. C. Citizens of Canada. Question 25. Which part of the Constitution legally protects the basic rights and freedoms of all Canadians? A. The Civil Code of France. B. The Canadian Charter of Rights. C. The Canadian Charter of Freedoms. D. The Canadian Charter of Rights and Freedoms. Correct answer. D. The Canadian Charter of Rights and Freedoms. Question 26. Name 4 fundamental freedoms secured by the Canadian Charter of Rights and Freedoms. A. Freedom of religion, to break the law, to own a house, peaceful assembly. B. Freedom of religion, speech, belief, peaceful assembly. C. Freedom to commit crimes, freedom of the press, association, speech. D. Freedom to discriminate, freedom of religion, thought, association. Correct answer. B. Freedom of religion, speech, belief, peaceful assembly. Question 27. Who can enter and leave Canada freely? A. All Canadian citizens. B. Landed immigrants. C. British citizens. D. Canadian citizens who are at least 18 years old. Correct answer. A. All Canadian citizens. Question 28. Who has the right to vote in federal elections? A. Canadian citizens who are at least 18 years old and have not committed a crime in the past 24 months. B. Canadian citizens who are at least 18 years old and on the voters list. C. Canadian citizens and permanent residents who are on the voters list. D. Canadian citizens and permanent residents who are at least 18 years old. Correct answer. B. Canadian citizens who are at least 18 years old and on the voters list. Question 29. What is due process? A. The Canadian government must respect most of the legal rights a person is entitled to under the law. B. You or your lawyer must prove your innocence in court. C. The law applies to everyone in Canada, except the Prime Minister. D. The Canadian government must respect all the legal rights of a person is entitled to under the law. Correct answer. D. The Canadian government must respect all the legal rights of a person is entitled to under the law. Question 30. Why can a woman choose to take a job like any man? A. Because of the equality of women and men in Canada. B. Because she has a university degree. C. Because she is more qualified than man. D. Because of freedom of speech. Correct answer. A. Because of the equality of women and men in Canada. Question 31. Canadians enjoy many rights. Name 4 set out in the Canadian Charter of Rights and Freedoms. A. Mobility rights, Aboriginal people's rights, voting, freedom to disobey the law. B. Right to buy property, voting, mobility rights, multiculturalism rights. C. Mobility rights, Canadians can live and work where they choose, Aboriginal people's rights, official language rights, French and English have equal rights in government, multiculturalism. D. Right to life, right to a university education, mobility rights, official language rights. Correct answer. C. Mobility rights, Canadians can live and work where they choose, Aboriginal people's rights, official language rights, French and English have equal rights in government, multiculturalism. Question 32. As a Canadian, what are your responsibilities? A. Vote in elections, take responsibility for oneself and family, obey the law, serving on a jury, helping others in the community and protecting and enjoying our heritage and environment. B. Obey the law, protect the environment, vote in elections, join the army and pay taxes. C. Vote in elections, obey the law, help others in the community, learn both English and French and join the army. D. Vote in elections, serve on a jury, protect the environment, go to school, volunteer in the community and take care of the elderly. Correct answer. A. Vote in elections, take responsibility for oneself and family, obey the law, serving on a jury, helping others in the community and protecting and enjoying our heritage and environment. Question 33. It is compulsory to serve in the Canadian Armed Services. A. With either the Navy, Army, Air Force, or Coast Guard at age 18 for 3 months. B. For a period of 2 years. C. It is not compulsory to serve. D. It is not mandatory but you must register for one of the services at age 18. Correct answer. C. It is not compulsory to serve. Question 34. Name 2 key documents that contain our rights and freedoms. A. Civil Code of France and laws passed by Parliament. B. Canadian Constitution and English Common Law. C. Canadian Constitution and Civil Code of France. D. Magna Carta, Great Charter of Freedoms, and Canadian Charter of Rights and Freedoms. Correct answer. D. Magna Carta, Great Charter of Freedoms, and Canadian Charter of Rights and Freedoms. Question 35. What is the highest military honor a Canadian can receive? A. Elizabeth Cross. B. Victoria Cross. C. Badge of Honor. D. Gold Medal. Correct answer. B. Victoria Cross. Question 36. What is mobility rights? A. Rights to drive anywhere in Canada. B. Rights to live anywhere in Canada. C. Rights to work anywhere in North America. D. Rights to live and work anywhere in Canada. Correct answer. D. Rights to live and work anywhere in Canada. Question 37. What are some examples of taking responsibility for yourself and your family? A. Participating in sport activities. B. Going out and traveling. C. Getting a job, taking care of one's family and working hard in keeping with one's abilities. D. Getting a car, buying a house and having a pet. Correct answer. C. Getting a job, taking care of one's family and working hard in keeping with one's abilities. Question 38. Equality under the law means: A. To be discriminated against. B. Every Canadian should earn the same amount. C. To be protected from any discrimination. D. To be like everyone else in the world. Correct answer. C. To be protected from any discrimination. Question 39. When taking the oath of citizenship, you promise: A. To pledge your loyalty to the sovereign, Queen Elizabeth II. B. To pledge your allegiance to the flag and fulfill the responsibilities of a Canadian. C. To pledge your loyalty to Canada. D. To pledge your loyalty to Britain. Correct answer. A. To pledge your loyalty to the sovereign, Queen Elizabeth II. Question 40. When was the Constitution of Canada amended to include the Canadian Charter of Rights and Freedoms? A. 1982. B. 1972. C. 1986. D. 1990. Correct answer. A. 1982. Question 41. What are 3 responsibilities of Canadian citizenship? A. Attending university, protecting our heritage, voting. B. Voting, obeying the law, serving on a jury. C. Serving in the military, obeying the law, voting. D. Owning a home, volunteering, protecting the environment. Correct answer. B. Voting, obeying the law, serving on a jury. Question 42. Where do English and French have equal status in Canada? A. In the Parliament. B. In the universities. C. In the grocery stores. D. In the schools. Correct answer. A. In the Parliament. Question 43. Which of these religions has greater rights in Canada? A. Islamism. B. Christianity. C. Judaism. D. They are all equal. Correct answer. D. They are all equal. Question 44. Who is above the rule of law? A. No one. B. Head of state. C. Prime Minister. D. Parliament. Correct answer. A. No one. Question 45. What is the Canadian Constitution? A. Municipal and provincial laws. B. Based solely on the Civil Code of France. C. Laws that come only from English common law. D. A system of laws and conventions by which the country governs itself. Correct answer. D. A system of laws and conventions by which the country governs itself. Question 46. Which are examples of taking responsibility for yourself and your family? A. Keeping the lawn mown and house clean. B. Buying a car and driving to work. C. Buying a house and getting a mortgage. D. Getting a job and working hard in keeping with one's abilities. Correct answer. D. Getting a job and working hard in keeping with one's abilities. Question 47. What does the Canadian Constitution say about multiculturalism? A. It doesn't exist. B. It should be discouraged. C. It should be celebrated. D. It should be ignored. Correct answer. C. It should be celebrated. Question 48. The Canadian Charter of Rights and Freedoms attempts to A. Restrict certain rights. B. Curtail where people can work and live in Canada. C. Summarize fundamental freedoms and set out additional rights. D. Adversely affect prior treaties of Aboriginal peoples. Correct answer. C. Summarize fundamental freedoms and set out additional rights. Question 49. The oath of citizenship begins with A. Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth II. B. I swear that I will be faithful. C. I will faithfully observe the laws of Canada. D. Allegiance to Her Majesty. Correct answer. B. I swear that I will be faithful. Question 50. Which of these these is not enshrined in Canadian law? A. Freedom to disobey the law. B. Freedom of association. C. Freedom of speech. D. Freedom of peaceful assembly. Correct answer. A. Freedom to disobey the law. Question 51. To become a Canadian citizen, you must have adequate knowledge of English or French if you are between the ages of A. 16 to 62, B. 18 to 54, C. 12 to 75, D. 14 to 84. Correct answer. B. 18 to 54. Question 52. Which of these is not a source of Canadian law? A. Laws passed by Parliament and the provincial legislatures. B. English common law. C. The French Civil Code. D. U.S. federal law. Correct answer. D. U.S. federal law. Question 53. Under Canadian law, men and women are equal. A. Unless they are married. B. Except in matters of employment. C. Except in matters of religion. D. In all circumstances. Correct answer. D. In all circumstances. Question 54. Cultural practices of inequality and gender-based pay difference are tolerated and allowed. A. Under the law. B. They are not allowed under the law. C. In certain communities. D. In the schools. Correct answer. B. They are not allowed under the law. Question 55. What is meant by the equality of men and women? A. Men and women are equal under the law. B. Women have more rights than men under the law. C. Men have more rights than women under the law. D. Women have less rights than men under the law. Correct answer. A. Men and women are equal under the law. Question 56. Which of these is part of the responsibility of a citizen? A. To work hard. B. To salute the Canadian flag. C. To attend national events. D. To show respect for the Prime Minister. Correct answer. A. To work hard. Question 57. In 1982, the Canadian Constitution was amended to include the A. Canadian Charter of National Allegiance. B. Canadian Charter of Crime and Punishment. C. Canadian Charter of Citizens' Responsibility. D. Canadian Charter of Rights and Freedoms. Correct answer. D. Canadian Charter of Rights and Freedoms. Question 58. What does the phrase "whereas Canada is founded upon principles that recognize the supremacy of God and the rule of law" mean? A. Canadians having mobility rights. B. It references multiculturalism. C. Minority educational rights. D. The importance of religious traditions and worth of the human person. Correct answer. D. The importance of religious traditions and worth of the human person. Question 59. In Canada, we profess our loyalty to A. To the Constitution. B. The Sovereign, Queen or King. C. To the country. D. To the flag. Correct answer. B. The Sovereign, Queen or King. Question 60. Voting in elections in Canada is A. Compulsory. B. Pointless. C. A responsibility. D. Unimportant. Correct answer. C. A responsibility. Question 61. Forced marriage is permitted in Canada? A. If it took place abroad. B. Under no circumstances. C. In certain provinces. D. For certain religions. Correct answer. B. Under no circumstances. Question 62. What status do the rights of Aboriginal peoples have in the Canadian Constitution? A. They cannot be overruled by it. B. They are subordinate to it. C. They are not mentioned. D. They have equal status with the Constitution. Correct answer. A. They cannot be overruled by it. Question 63. What is seen as a noble way to contribute to Canada? A. Paying taxes. B. Recycling and caring for the environment. C. Serving in the Canadian Forces. D. Speaking English and French. Correct answer. C. Serving in the Canadian Forces. Question 64. Canada subscribes to the principle of habeas corpus. What does this mean? A. The state has the right to imprison you at any time. B. You can't be unlawfully imprisoned by the state. C. The state has ultimate power over your body. D. Your rights are less important than the rights of the state. Correct answer. B. You can't be unlawfully imprisoned by the state. Question 65. What status do the French and English languages have in the Canadian Constitution? A. English is more important. B. It isn't mentioned. C. They are equal. D. French is more important. Correct answer. C. They are equal. Question 66. How many Victoria Crosses awarded to Canadians so far? A. 100. B. 99. C. 90. D. 98. Correct answer. B. 99. Question 67. Which of these is above Canadian law? A. Aboriginal peoples. B. None of them. C. Religious groups. D. Politicians. Correct answer. B. None of them. Question 68. Which legal document underlines the importance of multiculturalism? A. British Charter of Rights. B. The Canadian Multiculturalism Act. C. The Canadian Charter of Rights and Freedoms. D. The Civil Code of France. Correct answer. C. The Canadian Charter of Rights and Freedoms. Question 69. When taking the oath of citizenship, you promise A. To pledge your allegiance to the flag and fulfill the responsibilities of a Canadian. B. To pledge your loyalty to Britain. C. To pledge your loyalty to the Sovereign, Queen Elizabeth II. D. To pledge your loyalty to Canada. Correct answer. C. To pledge your loyalty to the Sovereign, Queen Elizabeth II. Question 70. The protection of Canada's environment is the responsibility of whom? A. All citizens. B. Provincial governments. C. The Aboriginal peoples. D. The national government. Correct answer. A. All citizens. Question 71. To whom do you swear allegiance in the Canadian Oath of Citizenship? A. Prime Minister of Canada. B. The Sovereign, Queen or King. C. The Canadian people. D. The Canadian flag. Correct answer. B. The Sovereign, Queen or King. Question 72. The Sovereign is a symbol of what? A. Canadian sovereignty. B. Guardian of constitutional freedoms. C. Reflection of Canada's history. D. All of them. Correct answer. D. All of them. Question 73. Canadians have a right to live and work. A. In the province of their birth. B. In the town of their birth. C. Within 250 miles of where they were born. D. Anywhere in Canada. Correct answer. D. Anywhere in Canada. Question 74. Canada is personified by A. The maple leaf. B. The sovereign. C. The people. D. The Prime Minister. Correct answer. B. The sovereign. Question 75. Military service in Canada is A. Compulsory. B. Non-existent. C. Looked down on. D. Applauded. Correct answer. D. Applauded. Question 76. What are the additional rights summarized in the Canadian Chart of Rights and Freedoms? A. Mobility rights, official language rights, multiculturalism, and Aboriginal rights. B. Freedom of conscience, freedom of thought and freedom of association. C. Freedom of speech, freedom of the press and Aboriginal rights. D. Freedom of peaceful assembly, freedom to own property, freedom to live and work anywhere within Canada. Correct answer. A. Mobility rights, official language rights, multiculturalism, and Aboriginal rights. Question 77. Jury service in Canada is A. Compulsory. B. Non-existent. C. Optional. D. Carried out by professionals. Correct answer. A. Compulsory. Question 78. Who helps keep Canada's north safe? A. RCMP. B. The Canadian Rangers. C. OP. D. The Canadian Forces. Correct answer. B. The Canadian Rangers. Question 79. What is the name of the military in Canada? A. RCMP. B. The Canadian Forces. C. OP. D. Canadian Federal Police. Correct answer. B. The Canadian Forces. Question 80. It is regarded as the responsibility of a Canadian citizen to A. Look out for number 1. B. Mind your own business. C. Help others. D. Earn as much as possible. Correct answer. C. Help others. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe to our channel for more interesting videos.